Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to cover my newest Solitaire card game that I'm designing for the 2023 Solitaire PMP contest on Board Game Geek. I actually do not have a name for this game yet, but I do have the print and play files available on my work in progress thread. So I wanted to make a playthrough video for further clarification on how to play this game, and hopefully you guys can start playing the game and providing some feedback. So with that said, let's jump right into it. The game contains 16 cards. There are 4 suits in 4 ranks from 1 to 4. Every card has a suit in the upper left corner and a rank in the upper right corner. And then we'll talk about this attribute list when we start going into gameplay here. Now, the object of the game is to get all 4 suits, one of each suit in each of the 4 columns. So you should have all 4 suits in column 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then points are awarded based on the final arrangement of the cards. So you're going to notice some similarities between this game and your traditional solitaire and patience style games, but then there's obvious deviations, especially with the point scoring mechanism. All right, so for setup, you're going to shuffle the 16 cards, and then you're going to deal them face down into 4 piles of 4 cards. And you're going to flip the top card of each pile face up. All right, I'll just go ahead and flip these face up. Okay, on each turn, you must move either the top card of a pile or the last card in a column to the end of any column. Since we're just starting out now, in fact, let me pull these in a little bit. Since we're starting out now, we don't have any cards in the column, so let me go ahead and move 1 card to the column. We'll just do the column right in front of this card. If you moved a card from the pile, which obviously we did on our first turn, and that pile still has cards in it, flip the new top card of that pile face up. That way you always have 4 options available until you start running out of cards in the piles. All right, when you move a card to a column that already has cards in it, like this column now does, you must follow a few restrictions. The first restriction, the attributes of the new card that you're going to move must match at least 1 attribute listed on the bottom of the last card in the column. So if we look here, this has spades and then the rank of 4. So you have to play a card that's either a spade or has a rank of 4. So looking right here at my piles, I could either play this 2 of spades, or actually this 4 of clubs, since it has a rank of 4. So for the purposes of this, I'm going to move the 2 of spades. All right, now the second restriction is when you're moving a card to a column that already has cards in it, is a column cannot have duplicate suits, but it can have duplicate ranks. So here, if we look at this, this card, it's on the attribute list. I could play a club, a diamond, or a heart. The problem is we already have a heart in that column, so this would not be a valid or legal move because then I would have 2 hearts. So I couldn't play this. I wouldn't want to play it anyway, but I wouldn't be able to play that. So really, I can only play a club or a diamond in this case. And then the last restriction, which is more so how you place the card on the column itself. The new card should be placed at the end of the column or the bottom of the column, atop the last card without covering up its attributes. So I'm going to want to be able to see all the attributes of the cards as I stack them on top of each other, because that will be helpful while I'm playing the game, and then also at the end of the game when I'm scoring the arrangement of the cards. It's easy to reference and see them. And that's really it for the gameplay rules. Now, to end the game, there's 2 ways you can end the game. If you're unable to make a valid or legal move on your turn, the game ends as a loss. And hopefully it comes up when I start playing the game of a scenario where that could happen, and we want to avoid that. And then the other way we can end the game is once I've placed all 16 cards into the 4 columns, the game ends as a win. And then we'll check the arrangement of our cards against the scoring chart that I have here to determine our final score. So normally when I play this game by myself and I'm not being videotaped, I will take longer to put the cards in the right arrangement to maximize my score. I'm going to move a little bit quicker, so my score may or may not be lower. We'll see how lucky we get. So let's go right into it. So I've already got 2 cards in this column, and I could always separate these out if I wanted to and move that here. I can always move the last card. I can never move them as a stack onto other columns. I've always got to move the last one. Now that this is the last one, I could move it, but they'd be in opposite order. So that's just some considerations. Okay, so let's see here. Here's an example where this probably isn't a good card to play. So I'm allowed to play a club. If I play this club here, I've essentially made it so I can only play the 1 of diamonds. Because even though there's 2 options here, I can't play the spade and I need a diamond. I haven't seen the 1 of diamonds yet, so maybe that might be the card here in the play. But this early in the game, I don't see the 1 of diamonds, so I'm not going to risk that. So actually what I'm going to do for now, I'm going to play this card. Of course, and there's the 1 of diamonds. So this gives me a lot of options here. There could be reasons why I would want to keep that there based on scoring. Just to give you kind of a preview of one of the scoring arrangements that gives you a ton of points. If a column has all 4 ranks in it, you score 4 points. So I might want to keep that 4 there and then work toward the 3 of diamonds. And then I'd have 1, 2, 4, and 3. I'd have all 4 numbers. I'd score 4 points at the end of the game. But like I said, I'm going to be quick here, so I'm going to, for the sake of time, so I'm going to close out that column. So I'm going to move this to a new column. I am going to play that card, and then I'm going to play the 1 of diamonds there. Oh, I should have flipped that over in between each one. All right. So next, I'm going to play, so I'm missing a heart. So I can play a diamond. So I'm going to play that diamond. I can play a spade. Oh, let me flip this over to 2 diamonds. Okay. All right. Let's play 1 of clubs here. I can play a heart. Let's flip that over. So this, I was almost tempted to put this here, but then this is an example. I still have a column here, but if I put this here, I wouldn't be able to, you're never allowed to bring it back to an empty space. So I would have to put this over here. If there happened to already be a diamond here, this card, I made a mistake because if you look, it's a club and a heart. Well, I already have a club and a heart. I need a spade. So I would have lost the game if I intentionally moved it there. I wouldn't have done that. But if I had, you can't bring it back as your next move to a pile. So thankfully, I still have 1 column open that I could have at least moved the diamond there and then brought the 3 in instead. But for purposes of this, I'm going to actually use the 3. I now have the spade is available, which I could play. Let me flip this over. I could play the spade. Okay, so I'm missing the heart. I could play the heart there. So let me make sure I do this right. So if I do 2, wait, I can play the heart. Spade, oh, no, that's not good. Ooh, oh boy. I might have just lost, well, maybe not. Woo. So what was happening here is I've got, if I play the club, it doesn't have a spade. If I play the spade, it doesn't have a club. So thankfully, I can play the 2 here. Play the 3. Yep, I can play a heart. The heart accepts that. Woo! So I got very lucky that I still was able to play the heart there. Otherwise, I would have lost that game. Let me bring these into focus. Again, the way I played right now, where I wasn't really focusing on scoring, that actually is a game variant called casual, where you just ignore the end of game scoring. You're just trying to get to the end of the game. So I didn't take as long as I would to plan out where I was putting the cards. But now that we finished, let's bring up the scoring chart. Eventually I'll probably have a scoring card with the rules. And so what we're gonna do, generally I check the columns first, the rows next, and I go left to right and top down. So the first card arrangement that will award points is each column and row containing all 4 ranks. So I have a 2, a 1, a 4, and I do not have a 3. Actually, let me go down this way. 2, 3, 4, nope. 1, 2, 2, 2, 4, 4, 4, nope. So I don't have them on any of the columns. Let's check here. 4, 2, 4, 3, 3, 1, 2. Yikes, I didn't get any of those. So let's move on to the next one. Each row containing all 4 suits. This is actually, let's see, do I have one? I do. So right here in the second row, I've got club, spade, diamond, heart. So there's a 4-pointer. Let's see the next row. The third row, same thing. Wow. And, ooh, the last row, we have 2 spades. We're missing the club. So I got 8 points right there from each row containing all 4 suits. Nice. All right. Third one, each column and row containing 3 of a kind of a rank. Well, right here, I've got 3 4s, so there's 3 points. And I think that's it. Now let's check across. I have 2 4s there, 2 1s, okay? So those 3 points are done. Each row containing 3 of a kind of a suit. This one, I think I'm gonna need to give more points. And this is what I'm gonna be looking for some playtest feedback on. This one's really tough to pull off. And I don't know, granted, for this video, I didn't really try and arrange them in a specific order, but it seems really tough to do. And I might bump that up from 3 to maybe even 5 or 6 points. All right, so I don't think I have that. I have club, club, but no club. Yep, all right, so I don't have that one. And then the last arrangement, each adjacent pair, adjacent meaning next to each other this way or vertically or horizontally, not diagonally. Each adjacent pair of suits and ranks. There's a note. An adjacent pair that is part of a 3 of a kind is not scored. So since I already scored this 3 of a kind, I couldn't score these 2 4s and these 2 4s and get 2 more points. Those, you don't count those. So again, let's go down here. Oh, those aren't adjacent. Oh, I do have 2 adjacent too, so I'm gonna get 1 point there. These are skipped because they're part of the 3 of the kind. I've got 2 3s, so that's for the columns. Now let's check rows. 2 1, 3 2, 4 2, 1 4, 2 4, 2 4, 1 2, 4 1, 4 3, 4 3. Nope. Okay, so none that way. All right, now let's check the suits. Obviously, you're not going to have the suits in the rows. So now let's check the suits across, or you're not going to have the suits in the columns because you have to have unique, but you might have them next to each other. So let's see. Wow, we did not get any. Oh, no, we got it right here. We got these 2 clubs. So now let's add up our points. 8, 11, 16. Not bad. So what I've seen from my play testing so far, numbers that are closer, just under, just above 10 are lower or average. Numbers that are just below or just over 20 are really good. Once you start getting in the higher 20s, that's a really good score from what I found. That may change with the points awarded if I change that. So yeah, that's it for my game. I'm still looking for a name. If you do play test the game, I'd be really appreciative, and some feedback topics that I'm looking for. Do the scoring arrangements feel like the points awarded match how hard it is to accomplish that scoring arrangement? So I'd love your feedback on that. For example, right, the 3 of a kind of a suit across the rows seems really hard to me. I might double the points, but I'd love your feedback on that. If you've got, oh yeah, I forgot to cover the game variants. I already talked about casual mode. Ignore end of game scoring. It's just casual mode where you just like play like a patient style version of this game. Casual timed, you don't worry about end of game scoring, but you start a timer as soon as you take your first turn, and then you stop it as soon as you win the game. So you ignore the end of game scoring, but then you try and beat and you record your fastest score. That kind of replaces the scoring. And then the last one is move to an empty piles. So right now you can move cards from the piles to the column, or the last card in a column to another column. You can't bring cards back to a pile. You can't bring cards from a column back to the pile, but once you empty out a pile with this variant, if you want to incorporate the rule, you can move cards from other piles into empty piles with this variant. So those are the couple of variants I have. So more feedback I'd love is, do you have any other variants that you'd like to see that I could add? And what was the last one? Yeah, I've been playing around with the idea of maybe adding a 5th suit. That will have some ramifications on the distribution of the attribute list, and that does push the threshold from 16 cards up to 20 cards, which would push it out a button shy range, tuck box range, etc. But I'm not going to let that be a consideration if it makes the game better. So things like that, I would appreciate that feedback, and thank you for your time.